In this video, we'll have a quick look at combining filters when configuring thresholds. You configure thresholds from the admin tool, select alerting and event management, threshold configuration. In order to populate the filter options, we first need to select an entity type. This will populate the attribute list, which we use to specify what we're actually going to be thresholding against, and it determines our filter options. I'm just going to drop in a quick example configuration. Now, in the attribute filters, I can target specific entities by applying filters against any configuration data associated with that entity or with the device entity, filtering to the parent device. I'll apply a device filter, looking at the device name, any device with Brisbane in the name. I can add additional attribute filters. When you've got multiple attribute filters, they work as though there's a logical AND in play. Only interfaces with GI01 in the name, which are found on devices with Brisbane in the name. These filters are regex filters, so if I want an OR filter, I just use regex to apply it. And now we're thresholding against interfaces with GI01 in the name on devices with Brisbane or Sydney in the device name. If you aren't sure what the output from your filter combination is, save the threshold configuration and head to the console. I can quickly run the threshold report, filter it to the threshold that I want to look at, and the report will contain details of every entity that the threshold applies to. Back in our configuration, under entity filters, I can employ filters at the group, device, or entity level. I'll select a group filter and we'll add two groups, AU routers and switches. This grouping acts as though there's an OR operator in play. The threshold will be applied to any interface on a device that appears in either the AU routers or AU switches group. And there's an AND between the entity and the attribute filters, so GI01 interfaces on Brisbane or Sydney routers or switches. And now I'll add a second entity filter, and I'll select another group filter, and this time I'll select the 1 gig interfaces group. The two sets of filters work as though a logical AND operator was inserted between the sets, so with my final configuration, we are limiting the threshold to 1 gig interfaces named GI01 found on Brisbane or Sydney routers or switches. OR operators operate within a set of filters, AND operators between filter sets. And remember, filters are optional. You can apply a threshold to your entire network without any filters whatsoever. Your alert configurations can also employ filters. Where your threshold configurations determine what behavior creates a threshold event, your alert configurations determine which threshold events to act upon.